What's up?
What up, everybody? Off the cuff, forgot the name.
Yeah, but today we'll be talking with Long about he's a skate shop owner. Forgot where the shop's
Raleigh.
in Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he
Oak
has a
City.
skate shop in North Carolina.
Mhm.
It's Oak City skate shop, right?
Yeah, Oak City. We're just going to talk about sales with blading during this pandemic, what it means for skating, the industry, the future, all that good stuff, speculations, and hopefully this leads up to good things.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good things from a bunch of different shop owners, including Long, just like talking about how everything's been in the midst of this pandemic, that skate shops have been super busy. So yeah, it'll be cool to get into that.
Hell yeah, excited to hear more about it because I haven't spoken directly with anybody yet, but I just heard from other people. So I can't wait to get Long on to talk about it. Let's quickly, before we do that, we are slacking with our monthly giveaways and our new patrons. So we are doing the Patreon giveaway for the month of March because we didn't do March and April. So we're doing March right now. Like we said before, everybody who donates to our Patreon, we pick a random winner once a month to win anything from our online store to show our appreciation for everybody supporting us. So let me get.
And by the way, like we've had so many new patrons because of this pandemic and all the things we've been doing. So just want to say thank you to everyone because
huge thank you.
Great. It's been really cool.
101 names here. So a lot of people, you see the screen, right? Do you see the screen on your thing?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So right now we're doing the drawing for March.
Little drum roll.
Jande Dablier. Sure. Now you can see the name too, so you can announce it also. Can you pronounce it?
Oh, I would say Jande Dablier. Yeah.
Well,
congrats.
Congratulations. We will reach out to you and you can get anything from our online store. Thanks for your support, and everyone else, thanks for your support too. And the next episode, we'll do the giveaway for April. And am I back?
Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
It's so different doing these new Zoom interviews and everything.
I know, we're figuring it out still. We also, like I said, like Billy said, we have so many new Patreon supporters from the whole month of quarantine and pandemic and stuff. And we're just going to be going through the names for the next few episodes. But right now, I just want to give a shout out for your support. Mike Wascom, T. Tirado, Jeff Valcourt, Greg, John Julio, Andre Howard, Kevin Charles, Marshawn Adrian, and Mano Dos. We'll stop at that one for now. So thank you guys all for your support.
Yeah, it's awesome seeing all the support and people like coming together for everything, coming together for the movie nights, coming together for like, you know, the live ones in the past, and subscribing because, you know, I do that spiel on like every episode about subscribing and liking, but, you know, seeing people doing it and watching our thing grow as just like as a sport, as like a culture, like I feel like we're all kind of growing with the whole thing together, so it's cool.
It is. This has been like the most supportive month so far in skating in a long time. So
cool.
We're going to hear more about that now. Are we good to go with Long?
Yeah, I think we should get more into that with Long.
All right, let's get Long in here then. What up, Long?
Hello.
There we go. Your sound's working and everything?
Yes.
Nice backdrop.
Thank you. You know, I told my wife that I was doing this, and she was like, "You need to take this serious." And so she did all of this. Like, none of this was
really?
me. Like, I put on clothes and I just showed up, and she was like, "This is how it's gonna look." So, yeah, thank you to her. So, yeah, thank you. I'm gonna tell her you said that, and she'll be like, "I told you." So.
That's awesome. She was right.
You'll need the woman touch, you know, once in a while to make things all neat and looking proper and shit.
100%. She actually left her job, like, so things were getting a little out of hand because I'm like stay-at-home dad and I'm doing the skate shop thing. Things were getting out of hand, and so she was like, okay, well, it's time to pull back the net, and so she's working with me full time. And if you saw, like, the site actually got changed over in January, and because of that shift, everything has kind of made, she's like, it looks a lot better, because I mean, if you looked before then, it was me, and I was like, yo, like, let me find the cheapest site. I don't care. Like, I'm just trying to put it out there. And so she really, a woman's touch is most definitely what I need, because I just can't do it.
I appreciate the good looking website too, because for years I've thought the same thing too. Just like a lot of websites look like they're from the 90s, and it's just like, it gets to the point, it works. It does, like, you have the categories and everything, and they're divided by whatever. But to see like updated websites so people can like navigate a little easier and stuff like that, it's definitely, I think people would appreciate that. And I'm sure it helps with sales too. It makes your shop look better. That's your storefront,
Yeah. I mean, it's your digital storefront. And I'll admit to you that like the old style was more indicative of how my life is. It's like very unorganized and really hard to navigate. So like I like the site because it's like it's more streamlined, and it's a much better experience for the user. So
that's good.
Yeah, so anyways, sorry to digress.
That's good. We're digging in.
First of all, how have you been during this whole pandemic? Like, how has things been by you, and what have you been up to? Have you been able to get out there and skate or do things like that?
Well, our governor closed down all non-essential businesses. So, us being one of those. So I did close the storefront down, and that was a bummer, because, like, that's like more than 50% of my business. I feel like I have a good rapport with the customers that come in, and able to kind of help them. And, you could talk them up to better up, like, if you on the online situation, it's really hard to say things like, hey, you might need a helmet, or, it'd be really nice if you upgraded the wheels now, so that, in store, an in-store customer is way more likely to go on that. And,
totally.
And with that being said, it's kind of one of those things where, like, I was bummed. I thought that we weren't going to be able to make the ends meet for a while, but then things started to balance out with the online sales. So right now we're kind of in this weird lull where, like, it's taking care of online sales and stuff. So I've been doing pretty decent, considering everything. It's been good. I mean, I hate to be, I don't want to be like, it's tough, because I do know that people aren't doing so hot, but like we're doing okay. And that's like, considering everything that's going on, like, I'm so happy. I'm like, things are moving. Like, I was able to, like, my landlord was not sympathetic at all. He was like, well, you signed a lease, and the lease says, like, you owe me this money. And so I was like, what am I gonna do?
He's in the same boat too, gotta make money too.
Yeah, that's a bummer. In the midst of it, though, that he wouldn't bend a little bit. It's a pandemic.
No, and
wait, hold on a second.
Was the scare?
I don't want to cut you off real quick. Billy, how's Long showing up on your side? Is he like glitching a little bit? He's glitching on my end a little bit. I don't know if he's coming up like that on you.
He did for a second, but he seems to be okay now.
Okay, I just want to make sure that everything's coming through clear and it's not just my computer. So my bad, Long. I didn't want to cut you off with that. I just want to make sure that your audio and everything is coming through clear.
Yes, and honestly, I can make some adjustments here, because I'm in a weird spot. But anyways, you can hear me okay though? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
My bad. So about the landlord.
I'm just a glitchy person.
That's just how you talk.
Yeah. But yeah, the landlord thing was kind of an issue, because like he kind of scared me a little, because he was like, in your lease it says, like, if you don't pay, I just lock up the building, and it's all mine. And I was like, yo, this is insane. So like I started moving stuff out, and but I think things are starting to balance out now. And what's crazy is like, so I'm selling some stuff here and there, but like it, like the stock is running really dry. Like
that's what I heard.
Like, they're out completely everywhere. Like I was just looking at Rollerblade site, and like to order some just anything, and they've just got like the lowest of the end. And what I noticed is like, you know, a lot of the sales, it's been weird because it's been a balance between aggressive and fitness. It's not like one-sided one way or another. A lot of these cats are like, I used to aggressive inline skate. I want to get back out there, but I don't want to try to fit stuff. I just want to do something that's like comfortable. And but then you'll see a lot of people who are like, I'm very new to this. And I think that's kind of like, so if anyone's like listening to this and they're like, yeah, I'm still waiting for Long to get back to me, it's because like, you know, there are a lot of people who, you know, there's a lot of cats who they're coming straight into this. They want, you know, they want to know all the information, and you kind of have to like give them a crash course, and then they need to know their, you know, they don't know their shoe size, and you got to kind of help them figure out, you know, there are a lot of variables.
Yeah, a lot of different challenges.
Who doesn't know
like you guys know you guys know your skate sizes, right? Like it's easy. Like you know you want flat. Like
I'm a grown man. I know my shoe size. I know what I want.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And so it is a little tougher. But what's really been cool, and this is the shit that's been awesome, was all the kids skates. So like
they're all going the kids skates.
Yeah, like usually I'd order like one or two pair, and I'd be like, okay, when are these gonna sell? Like, why did we buy these? And then like it's like few kids, like it got to the point where I was like, man, like it's like holy crap, like we need to order more kid skates. What are we doing here? And so, and I think that's awesome, man, because you know, like we can agree, like yeah, this boom is awesome, but it's probably not gonna last, you know, especially with once everything gets back to normal and people are able to. I just don't feel like it's going to. But like even if like 50% of these people stick, like we're gonna come out of this like a lot stronger. I'm so stoked because like so many people are coming back.
Like, talk about the boom a bit, because like I'm just like hearing whispers about it from like all these different shops, but like how like crazy is it in relation to like how normal business runs, like on a regular comparison scale?
Okay, so it's tough. It's tough to gauge because this year was going to be one of the best years already. And I think like I heard that from like Gil from Roller Warehouse. He was talking the same type of thing. Like things were already on the positive, and like, but I mean, yeah, like it's been crazy. I would say like, I mean, it's.
You have like estimate a percentage, like how much the increase is?
Just much different than last year, like way different, huh?
Can I be 100% honest with you guys? Like, I'm not the one that looks at the finances anymore. Like Stephanie is the one that does that stuff, but she's happy, and usually she's not. So but I would say if I had to guess, like man, I'd say like 100% at least, like.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm working twice as hard. Yeah, like, because I mean,
awesome.
Used to be like, yeah, and it used to be like I would get one really sick call a day, and I'd like white glove it. I'd put my white gloves on, and I would make sure it's perfect. But like now, it's like it's a lot tougher to do that. So yeah, I'd say 100%. Yeah. Better than it was. Like if like you drew a line of like how we were looking, like we're like double that for sure. And I mean you could tell too, because like a lot of the inline skate companies are piecewise type production, so they'll just do like just enough that they know they'll sell, and so like what happened, you know, like nothing's available right now. No Aeons, like John's got no 909s.
Damn.
Who else is out?
Yeah, I mean, so, I have friends who are trying to order skates and they can't get anything. They're like, it was happening for a few weeks, and now I know a few people who are like, I can't get anything. Everything's back ordered.
Yeah, and so I'm sure everybody's kind of like worried, but I mean, from everything that I've been told, like the Chinese are like ramping up production right now, and like you know, like skates are on the boats already, like sending over. So. You know, like there's gonna be like a weird lull where there's like nothing, but it's all gonna come back. And what I'm really worried about is like, you know, like I'm trying to be really strategic and not like buy too much stuff. And then like, and think about like if you're like rollerblading, you're like sitting on all this money, you're like, well, shoot, we need to like double our numbers. And then you buy all that, and then like this curve drops, and then you're sitting on all this stock. So I'm being really careful, and I'm worried, but I'm riding the wave. And
I think if rollerblading's taught us anything, it's to be careful, especially anyone who's been around since the 90s. You know?
Yeah.
People were really heavily investing into so much back then, and ended up, not having the same numbers. So it makes sense to proceed with caution. But I don't know. I think it's really cool, nonetheless. That's so like what I don't know. What do you guys think? Like is causing this like new boom? Do you think it's just because? Do you think it's like new skaters, or do you think it's like old skaters coming back, or like I wonder what's causing it? What do you guys?
That's what I was curious with sales. Like, I mean, Long even said that his kid skate sales are going up, and I was curious if it seems to me like it's mostly older people who just like wanted to get back into it again, like just sparked an interest, being online, maybe seeing all their friends skating again or something like that, and they have all this free time, so they're like, fuck it, why not? But to hear that kids are getting skates now again too, that's like definitely even more impactful than just sales being up in general, like specifically for the kids part. Is there anything in like particular that you've noticed in that, Long?
TikTok.
Like, I was thinking TikTok might be a part of it.
Yeah.
It's insane. I don't know how many of these kids are like, TikTok, man, I saw it on TikTok. And like, I looked it up, and there's like a couple quad skating sensations that really hit it off. And then there was like a girl that was in her house, and she was doing cone skating, and it was like really like, I mean, she was in like a small room, and she could have knocked anything over, and she was like killing it. So like, and then, so
Frankie
that,
on TikTok, and then, Frankie Morales on TikTok.
Yeah.
He's
and
killing
then,
on
yeah. And so, like, and I didn't know anything about it, but I heard that's like the thing. So like TikTok's a big one. And then I noticed that a lot of the aggressive skaters have come from they'll type in back to blading, and then that YouTube will come up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that's kind of what really opens up the thing that like, cause I hear a lot of people, I mean, maybe it's just because like I'm on the East Coast and he's on the East Coast, but like a lot of people that hit me up are like, I'm back to blading. I got into it from this YouTube page, and now I'm here. So it's like a weird mixture. It's like a bunch of people who are like looking to just fitness skate with their kids, trying to go around the neighborhood. And then it's just a bunch of these like middle-aged guys who are like trying to get back into 10-line skating, which is like great.
Like aggressive.
Honestly.
Aggressive.
Yeah. Like anti-rockers.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
like anti-rocker, like it's like ancient technology.
Yeah.
Do you sell free skate stuff too, like recreational blades and stuff? You sell all that?
At the beginning of the year, I actually started ramping up more of my fitness skating stuff. So when the pandemic hit and things started like going, I was like, weird. Like normally what I would do is I would just order like what I thought would be like, I like this. This is cool. Like I'll skate this. Like shoot, if it doesn't sell, like at least I'll use it. And then and those things started selling, and then I started just kind of like, getting more of it. And, I think at this point it's kind of like, so a lot of that like initial big skate sales stopped, and now I'm just kind of like fulfilling small things, or like trying to like, man, I don't know how many returns we have to process. We got a lot of returns that
specifically this month
that need to. Yeah. Sorry. If anybody's listening to this and they're like, you want to get back to me on his return.
No,
my bad. I'm so sorry.
I bet those returns, like you said, has something to do with like the storefront not being able to like people coming in and try their shoe size or skate size.
Yeah. And then not to mention, I mean, like you, me, and Austin are more familiar with the sensation of a tight fitment, the proper fitment. But I feel like that the expectation for someone that comes into skating, they're like, well, my shoes are comfortable, and they're like a 10.5. And I'm like, well, that's not the ideal way to go about it when it comes to like skate sizing.
Yeah, totally.
And so somebody will be like, this is too big, or, but it's, man,
This actually
crazy.
got me thinking. I don't mean to cut you off, but that actually got me thinking that this might be one of the core root issues with rollerblading. That like sometimes like maybe that like makes skateboarding so much more accessible, you know, because it's like I could see people trying on skates and getting discouraged and being like, you know, it's hard to find a skate that like fits in right.
That's always the first question I hear from people too who like want to get back into it. They're like, oh, I want to get this skate. Like, how do they fit? Like, what would be better for me? And I'm like, I mean, I only know the skates that I ride. I mean, someone like Long obviously knows way more. I ask Long questions too all the time. Long, I hit you up all the time with like how shit is and how it fits and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm the nerd about it too. I'll look into the numbers and I think they're trying to do better about it because it used to be like they would just say 9 and you'd be like, okay, great, 9. That's what I'll order. But I feel like you'll see that a lot of these companies will do like a size chart now. So like Powerslide does a really good job, or USD, sorry. They'll do a really good job of being like, okay, yeah, this is 42 EU and the 42 EU measures up to a 27.2 centimeter. And then so, I mean, it doesn't give you the full spectrum, like the biggest picture, but like as long as you could measure your foot, you could know how you size up to their sizing chart. And I think like, you know, if more companies were able to do that, then, you know, we'd have less problems with that. But I mean, it's really not that big of an, you know, it's not, it's just like, you know, people are getting you know, we're getting more orders. And so like the returns are a little bit different volume, but it's tough. It's really tough. And I think that's why like skate shops will always like, and I mean, you know, people have asked like, are we going to get back to normal eventually? And I'm like, yes, 100%, because you know, coming in and being able to try on the skate is like one of the best ways to go because, you know, the best way to kind of like see if the skate fits well for you, like, because like, you know, the liner is really plush. It's really thick. So, you know, it's never going to be tighter than how it fits right there out of the box. And so a lot of times people will be like, oh, this is just too snug, but there's plenty of room like inside the shell. It's just that the liner is too big and you know it just like you'll never, and that's the thing is like the day of the skate shop, the day of the retail skate shop will never end because of that. And I think like dual sizing really helps too, like, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10,
you think
11, 12, that kind of, yeah, because it's at least a little bit more straightforward, because like a lot of times people will buy a 10 and I'm like, yo, that's like a 10, 11 shell. So you're actually at the bottom end of that shell. And they're like, well, I didn't know that. Why? I mean, had I known, I wouldn't have bought that. So like when you buy like a medium, then you're like, yo, it's a 9, 10 shell. So like if you're a 9, you're at the bottom. So it's like, it's a little bit more transparent. At least in the sense of like explaining it to somebody and being like, hey, like it's not a designated 9, or it's not, you know, this is how you fit on the size chart. And sorry to get nerdy there. That was
no, you're all about the nerdy
digression. Yeah, man. I guess the blade nerd for sure. Like it's just how it goes. But
that's good for a skate shop.
Sorry.
That's good for a skate shop.
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy to hear that. Like you said, it's good that people have skate shops to go to and try this on. And you said that you think that this is never going to kill skate shops for this reason alone. And you said more than half your sales are from walk-ins in the skate shop, which I would have never have guessed that, to be honest. Like, I feel like everything would just be online. And I was almost curious of how you were able to hold a skate shop, a physical storefront in business, but I guess not. Like, what do you think the reason for that is? People coming in more? Is the scene really big where you are or something?
Well, a few things. So skate fitment's crazy. That's one reason why retail will, like, I feel like a brick and mortar will always stick. Secondly, like, you know, I feel like the day of the internet is here. So like, you know, people don't, you know, like you could be another online retailer, but like seriously, there's Inline Warehouse, there's a Roller Warehouse, there's me, there's Thorough, there's so many online retailers. Like the way to stick out today is to be like how it used to be, where like someone would come in and you tailor to their needs, you treat them like they're a person, because that's not what you get when you go on the online experience. It's like you're just another cog in the system that, like, you know, orders online.
You want that.
So I feel like, yeah, and it's like and you go on the internet and you're like, okay, so what's the best skate for me? And then you hear like, well, this is the best skate. This is the best skate. Like, they don't ask any questions. They don't really know anything about yourself. And, you know, it's just really tough. So I feel like a skate shop is a great place to go and like talk to somebody that's like someone trustworthy, and knowledgeable, because, you know, you got all the stuff around you. And, yeah, so I just feel like, yeah, like, and it's tough because like there are like the big guys make it really hard to be an online retailer, because, you know, they're all really bottom dollar, and a lot of this stuff is like tiered pricing. So if you don't buy a certain amount of stuff, you pay like the highest wholesale cost. And then like inline warehouse, roller warehouse, you know, these guys, they're just cranking it. So they've got the best margins. So they don't care. Like, shit, they'll cut it down. Like, there have been so many times where I'm like, somebody will send me a price match and I'm like, shit, that's as much as I paid for it.
Damn.
But I'm petty, so I'll fucking sell it.
Yeah, that's gonna keep people going to you.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I mean, it's tough, right? So you can't really fight that. And then there's the Amazon thing, there's the eBay thing. So at the end of the day, like, you just can't fight that battle with them. You can't use the energy that you have to be in part of that battle. Search engine optimization. No, man, like, just set your roots where you are. You know, open up a shop. You know, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, man, should I open a shop? Yeah. Like, just set your roots where you are. If you've got skaters there, and like you say, like, if you're worried, like, it's not about trying to fish trying to fish the fish that are here right now. It's all about just trying to like make potential fish around you. Cause like, that's what I did. Like, I just made sure I took care of my locals, and I try to just be there for like the trail stuff. And that did well for me. And like, you know, right now I'm doing okay online, but like, honestly, had I not been set up for being, you know, able to sell online well, like, had I had the old site, you know, I wouldn't have come out as on top as I have. And I don't know, man, I'm sorry. I'm like all over the place. No, I drank like a bunch of caffeine because I wanted to be like awake and alert. And so yeah, I'm sorry. Jeez,
no, this is good. I'm glad that.
What kind of hat is that? Is that an all that hat?
So me and Philip Moore were doing this like weird thing where we were taking like old logos and turning them into like flat propaganda. So like, we took an old Senate logo and we made it an 8, and it said, yeah, and it says like the world, because it was the world is flat, and Phil was like, yo, we need to put the world skates flat. And then so I did this one. I took an all that logo and I made like an all flat. So it's kind of, you know, I get kind of upset, or not upset, but embarrassed sometimes, because people will say, oh man, all that hat, that's so sick. And then I'm like, well, you know, it's not really a all that hat. It's like an all flat hat. And then
are those one-offs? Yeah, you're actually selling them?
I have a few left. Yeah, I am. Okay. That was just kind of like, I ran it, and then I was just like, I was afraid of the repercussions. So I like, when I had it, I was like, because like, you know, an idea in your mind is like, oh, that's gonna be sick, and then you send it off, and then they send you back the thing, and you're like, this is great, but then like it sinks in, like, you know, it could be, you know, Nickelodeon is not somebody you want to mess with. So
yeah. You're such small. You know, no one cares about us anymore unless these sales continue to pick up.
Rollerblading's back.
Oh, yeah,
rollerblading's back.
But it's back.
Well, let's talk about that then.
Like, exactly.
So you think that this trend isn't gonna last? It's straight up just a trend, right?
Yeah. What? Yeah.
I speculate the future here a little bit.
I mean, I really can't see it going too much farther, honestly. I mean, because it's already kind of, you know, like it was kind of at a high about a few weeks ago. Yeah, like, and it's starting to level off more. And I mean, honestly, like, had you guys asked me to talk to you a week ago, you probably would have been like, long ghost me, like, yeah. So it just, because I was like, because it was crazy. I was like, you know, first off, I couldn't be in the shop because, you know, the whole stay-at-home order. So I would like, I don't even know if I should talk about this, but anyway, I would go in like at like 6 p.m. So like past peak hours, nobody was going to bother me. And I would stay there from 6 p.m. to like 4 a.m., just like packing orders and getting everything together, so like my schedule was crazy. But like that was that. And now it's starting to get to the point where like everything's gotten more manageable and things aren't getting delayed or anything like that. So I do feel like it's going to topple off a little bit. We'll keep a couple of these skaters, but I feel like, once everything gets back to normal, it'll probably not be as good. But once again, I mean, like I said, it's like 100% better than it's been. Mm. So, I went from, and that's the thing is like, I went from like barely making it, literally bad. I'm telling you, like, I shouldn't even say this, but I'm going to say it. I would like literally every month, man, before the pandemic, like before my wife started working, it's crazy. Before that, like I would literally every month just skirt by, like barely, like make payments, like pay off the people that I owe, like, and power, not like gangsters or anything, but like power slide and like sunshine and like all the cats that are like,
a lot of gangsters in Raleigh.
Yeah. yes. But now it's gotten to the point where like I feel like a little bit more, like I feel a lot more stable, and so I mean it's not like great, like shit, I still drive a Prius, like but I ain't got any, I'm not a rich man, but like to be able to seriously talk about rollerblades for a living, like fucking sick, man. Like, and to pay just enough of just to pay, not worry about bills right now. Like, I'm so stoked.
So what do you think you could do to help keep this trend going up?
Like me personally, or like everyone?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah. I mean, me, I just need to like. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to make a stance, but I feel like just seriously, just having as much fun. Yeah. Okay. Making a stance. All right. I'm doing it. So much caffeine.
Stand for something, man.
Okay. I'm going to. Well, see, as a business, you gotta be careful. You know what I mean? And I feel like I don't want to make anybody mad, but I feel like, hey, seriously, like, just have as much fun as humanly possible. I feel like it's infectious. I don't know how many times like people see like me and my friends skating, and like we're literally not doing anything but just like laughing and like just joking around, and they're like, "You guys look like you're having like so much fun." And it's like, seriously, like that stuff's infectious. People get interested in it all the time. If you even hear a whisper of interest in inline skating, I think it's your duty as someone who's interested in inline skating to be like, hey, let me know. I can, it's not hard, like, let me show you the best places to go look at inline skating. Have you seen this guy skate? This guy's, you like this stuff. I feel like that's kind of the one thing that I didn't do enough before I opened the skate shop. I like, people would tell me all the time they thought it was cool, but I wouldn't say, I would just be like, oh, sick, thanks, man. Mm-hmm. But that was it. Like, and I feel like, if we all just kind of like, we're just a little bit more out there, I feel like that could help. And then for me, I mean, yeah. And for me, I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to help every single person that I can, and try to, anybody who's new that needs that hand walked through, or, I just, I try to do that. And the kids, man, I feel like that's the one thing. I'm not to sound weird or anything, but I feel like the kids are really, because like if we get them young, like got me, like I started skating when I was 7. So, I mean, that's like what? That's like,
quick math.
Geez, I don't even know how old I am. 24 years of inline skate purchasing. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a long time, man. I mean, like, and don't get me wrong, I appreciate the guys that are coming back in, but I mean, like, those dudes are like 30, 40. How long do they really have? But I mean, if we can get one of these kids young and, a lifetime inline skater, like, that's the type of stuff that really helps. I mean, like, the 1 or 2 skates, like, that's great. Like, people are gonna buy the skates, but like who's buying the wheels? Like, that's the stuff that really helps people, like the bearings. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like,
you got to get them while they're young, man.
Yeah, and I'm
Just like
hoping that it sticks.
The old drug dealers used to do that with the kids too.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Like,
if you talk to Ricardo Lino,
it won't hurt.
Yeah, you talk to Ricardo Lino, he's an addict, so he's a wheel addict.
Yeah, he's a wheel addict, man. Yeah, real wheel addict.
So those are like the two like groups that we need to focus on. I mean, like obviously the young kids and the beginners are key because they're going to have the longevity in it. I always say that seeing all these older guys come back is still good because they're still bringing sales to the sport and the industry and supporting, and they have jobs now finally, and they're not afraid to spend a few $100s on a pair of skates once, twice a year, maybe new wheels here or there. But like there was that middle ground where like we all been there when we were teenagers. And for me, I know Billy too, that was like when we were skating like our hardest, and we had like no money for skates. So to spend like the $300 on a pair of skates, I mean, luckily like we were sponsored and stuff, but for most of us to spend that much money on skates, it was so tough. But like when you're a kid, at least your parents have the money to spend on you. If you're an adult, obviously you have the job and your own income to support yourself. So like
there's Christmas, there's Hanukkah, there's the birthdays, there's those opportunities you can get as a kid, and have your wish list and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But totally, like that's a good approach, and it's really good to hear that in the midst of all this, like you're getting those older guys coming back, which is obviously appreciated, but you're getting a lot of those younger kid sales and the young skates too. I'm guessing both in fitness and aggressive you're talking about with the kid skates, right? Or just mainly fitness or rec?
It's crazy. It's the future is bright, Billy. I'm telling you, man, because like half these kids are on fitness, and then half of these kids are diving right in, and they're getting like the USD transformer, anti-rocker, ready to go. It's like,
dude, if they came from TikTok, that's Frankie. I'm telling you.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, and it's nice because like you'll see like, because I have this website thing now. Thank goodness to my wife again. But like you can see their order history, and so I'll see somebody order like a pair of kid skates, and I'll look back and I'm like, yo, that's a Blade Dad. And like he's ordered stuff from us before. Like he's ordered like
I was gonna ask
like grown man stuff.
I was gonna ask if like they're like customers that are coming back to you already and just they have their kids. So they are okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to the Blade Dads, man. Straight up, man. Oh my gosh, they are
Blads.
Yeah, yeah. The Blads, the Blads. That's a good one.
That's a rough one. Probably just call them Blade Dads. Blade Dads.
That's a rough one. But that's hitting both ends of the spectrum that I was just talking about too. That's the older people, the dads, and their kids, and there's one. Yeah. Hit them all at once. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I'll admit, like you'll see mostly like with the kids, it's real basic always. Like it's always like flat setups, 60s or 72s. But like what I think like is really helping get the Blade Dads really excited, or like the older blader or the roller balder, I guess, like the balding roller blader.
Hopefully not.
They really like the end of no, we all got full heads of hair, right? It's beautiful. Just hold on to it because it might not last. But the innovation, I don't know if you got, you see how like there's constantly stuff coming out now that's just like next level. Like, the wish frames, fluid fives. What else? Like they just came out, Power Slide. So USD, Kaiser, they just came out with like an off-road 3x125 UFS frame. So like, what's going on? It's crazy. So like, I think that's helping a lot because that was the one thing that, I was just talking about how this year was going to be one of the best years. It was like, it's because like a lot of those core inline skating companies are like starting to like take the money that they did make from the past few years, because everybody talks about how, we've been on the rise for the last 3-4 years. You right? You would agree, right?
I was going to ask you that. You would know that more than me.
Yeah, this is your field.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so based off of just like what I've seen, like like shit or stuff started really doing. So like I'll just kind of like do a little history of the skate shop. Like, so I opened in 2012, and then shit was a struggle pretty much all the way up until like I'd probably say like 2016, and then things started making sense and it started being less in the red but still very difficult. But then it's just slowly gotten to the point where like now things are just like, okay, cool. Like I don't have to work that landscaping job I used to work anymore and stuff like that, like side jobs and shit to make sure things look good. So like I could say for myself, yeah, things have gone better. And like, you know, everybody that I talked to said that the same thing. So like I talked to like a couple of cats at Rollerblade and yeah, but everyone that I've talked to says that in the last 4 years, it's been slowly increasing. And these core companies are taking their money, and instead of just like doing whatever, you know, buying whatever they want, they're actually innovating, which is really nice, and putting out new products. And I think that was the one thing, like, you know, everyone talks about how like this inline skating kind of like fell off for a little while, and it kind of stunted innovation for a while. Like they weren't making products that people were getting excited about. And I think that kind of, you know, doubled up and slowed it even harder. So hopefully, you know, I like I said, I don't think the boom is going to last as hard, but it's gonna, you know, hopefully these companies will spend a little bit more money on like making more frames, making different wheels, stuff like that, and offering like new stuff. And then it'll kind of like, it won't completely die, but it'll kind of, you know, stay level. I mean, that's what I would think at least is going to happen.
It's like gonna be
speculating.
Like Bitcoin was like nothing.
I like the idea of that a new higher level.
Yeah. That's kind of what I think too. Like there's a boom right now, and some people are gonna stick with it, some people aren't. But even if like you put your skates on once a year, twice a year, whatever in the future, like it's still cool. And maybe you'll want something else. You said people keep innovating, putting out new shit. People coming out with new skates. I know like stupid shit like the Impala skates coming out. Like people just like that, even though it's like money not really in our industry. But if they could use that as like a stepping stone to buying a pair of rollerblades, USDs, razors afterwards, like that's still cool and good for us. It's longevity in the sport and longevity, money in our pockets too.
Yeah, I mean, seeds are being planted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Some of them are going to get the right amount of water and sun, and some of them are just going to be like some little stray seeds that, you know, just nothing happens.
Yeah.
But
and go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, what I was gonna say is like, I mean, a lot of people are getting depressed about like, you know, oh man, Impala is a skateboarding company, you know, it's owned by Globe, and you know, but the thing is like that kind of like shuts them up, right? Because they can't say things like rollerblading stupid when, you know, they're getting a fancy check from their neon colored inline skates.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's a good sign. And so I always try to look at the positive things, because like, you know, like bank statements are usually negative. So like try to look on the bright side of things and the positive side. But man, I just feel like just having those people out there, it's just like, it helps us for sure. Like there's nothing wrong with more inline skaters out there. And, you know, the crossover is real, because like, that's how I started. I just started just skating around my neighborhood. And then like I went to jumping coolers, and then after that I was like, oh sick, somebody's grinding this rail, and then it was over. So like all it takes is for them to just try that stuff and then be like, okay, I've got the master. And that's the biggest problem is, I think mushroom blading said it right, that rollerblading enhances awkwardness. So if like, you know, you don't have it down, then you're really going to feel it. So, you know, a lot of these cats will quit, which is, you know, a bummer. But, you know, like I said, I was telling my wife, I was like, seriously, even if 10% of these people stick with it, we're still going to be doing better off than where we were. Because otherwise it was just going to be like the same pool. Like, and that's the one thing I feel like we've got like a fresh new pool of people coming in, you know, thanks to TikTok, thanks to, you know, back to blading and like just social media and internet in general. I feel like that one's a big one. Just being able to see people out there. And that kind of goes back to, well, what can I do? It's like, well, you know what, go out there and just have as much fun as possible, because that's what influences people more than anything. Like a big ass smile and like someone looking cool, like feeling cool.
Absolutely.
You know, like
absolutely. Yeah. Like people looking like they're having fun and being cool.
Yeah.
Document it and put it on your Facebook, Instagram and shit too, so that everyone can see it.
Exactly.
Those are
TikTok
and, you know, yeah, and mad positivity, because I think like that's the one thing that people really are jealous of. Like I mean, I don't know how it is in other scenes, but like, you know, I try to really push like a really positive. Sorry to all my locals because they haven't seen me at all, and they probably think I'm just ghosting them as well. But I try to be really like communal, and skateboarders that are in our area, they're like, yo, like you guys are like super tight with each other, and like none of these guys will even talk to each other over here. It's like it's super cliquey. And so I feel like that's a big thing too. It's like, yo, seriously, like you see someone out there, you like bring them in.
That's funny that you said that too, because I noticed that recently also. Yeah, with like you go to the skate park, and if I go and I see a blader, chances are I know them, and we're all skating together and shit like that. Or we'll roll up like 4 or 5 at a time. But like you see other sports, skateboarders and bikers and stuff like that. Like there'll be 2 skateboarders at the skate park with us skating, and they don't even talk to each other the whole time. They just have the headphones on. I'm like, that's so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's a different interaction. Like seeing like a blader, because it's like so rare and it's such like a communal thing that it's like, oh, it's always been, oh, there's someone, like even like me and my girl like driving down the street the other day, we saw someone just skating by. We're like, oh, like, you know, it's like
I do it all the time too, like in the car.
It's like seeing like I don't know, like a leopard in the wild or something. Like,
oh, you know, 100%. Like stop the car. Yeah. We need to understand what this is. Yeah, it's like we need to understand what's going on. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I'm sure that's weird though. It's like, here's my card. Call me. I'll hook you up. You know, it's like
yeah. So you could help them out, man.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's just like we have such a beautiful thing going. Like everyone always talks about like well, maybe not everybody, but skateboarders. I mean, and that's the one thing is I'm so weird. Like I'll go to the skate park and I'm like, I'll talk to the kids about stuff. I'm like, so what's it? Well, not recently. I've actually been like a hermit. But when I talk to the kids or I talk to some of the skateboarders, I'm like, what's in right now? What are you guys doing? Like, what's popular with you guys right now? And one thing that one of the skateboarders told me was that they're really they hate how much corporations have taken over a lot of their skateboarding aspect, like the aspect of skateboarding. And I feel like it's so nice that rollerblading was so inline skating was so unattractive to corporations, because like this boom went straight into the right people's pockets.
Yeah.
So like any of the local shops, you know, Matt Nicky, not mother effort. That dude deserves it. Whatever he got, I'm so happy. So Matt Nicky, you listen to this, you're the man, dude. And you know, little guys fighting the fight, you know, like and you know, I think that's the best part. It's like, because like, you know, the skateboarding, like I have a buddy who owns a bike shop, and he's getting the same type of boom. But I mean, like if you think about it, like where does that money go? You know, like, or if skateboarding is still in the same thing, where does that money really go to? Like a bunch of suits so that they can get their salaries
exactly.
and go buy.
Yeah. The money that comes into rollerblading makes way more of a difference. Like the effect of that.
You see John Julia's new spot?
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah. So
that's always important to know, not only in rollerblading, but you know, watch where you spend your money. You know.
Yes, exactly, man. And I think that's the one thing that rollerblading, that's really sick about it right now. Is like the people that are at hand. Like, I mean, yeah, there's like a few people that people don't appreciate. I'm not going to say any names, but like there's a few upper heads, but like predominantly those guys are still skaters and are actively interested in inline skating. So, and if they're not, they're still connected in some way. They're not just like worried about dividends and balance sheets. Yeah, sorry. Gosh, I keep getting, I'm all over the place today, guys.
No, but I think that's like, you know, that's a ton of great stuff, and like the future is bright.
Yeah, I think so too, either way.
Yeah,
it's exciting, and it's, you know, thanks for sharing everything with us. Before we go, what are you going to do about, are you going to open the storefront again? Are you going to change locations? What are you going to end up doing with that?
So the thing is right now with the governor, he said that phase 2 is like you could be open as a retail store as long as you can ensure social distancing. The biggest problem with the skate shop right now is that that's like almost impossible in 60% of the store. Secondly, is like, you know, like I'm usually the type to like sit you down, let you cross your leg, and like help you put on the skate, and you know, like so it's like it's just tough. It's like so I don't know, man. I'm really like, I mean, because I want to stay compliant, and I want to play by the rules. I don't want to, I don't want to do anything. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not chasing the dollar bill. If I wanted money, I would have sold skateboards or used cars or something. So I don't know, man, because that's the one thing I'm very uncertain about. And I mean, I guess I'm just gonna try and like for right now, I'm just gonna try and pivot super hard and just kind of focus on my online stuff, and then hopefully, because you know my landlord's locked tight. He's not gonna let me break the lease or any of that stuff, and I don't have really any other place to store the stuff. So I'm just kind of, doing what I can. But my plan is that hopefully I can, ride this out for the next 3 months and then find a more appropriate location for a more social distant, buying environment.
You mean like a larger space to keep?
Yeah, because right now, like it's a really, if you've ever been there, it's like you guys haven't. But if I can kind of break it down, it's like it's got a very narrow hallway, and then you turn left and then turn right, and then it's like really narrow, and then and that's full of inline skate stuff. So on the left and the right, you got like liners and then the inline skates, and then you walk down, and in that part, it's like 8 feet wide. Mm-hmm. And so, it's tough. And then it's narrow. And then in the back, it's just a little bit wider. And the problem is you got to remember, I've got shelving, and, like shelving takes up a foot. Mm-hmm. And then, so it's like the way, space. The way, any way I look at it, and there's not, and because at this time, when I signed the lease 3 years ago, I was like, I mean, once again, remember, I was barely making do, like barely making by. So I got the cheapest, most utilitarian space. And I was like, yeah, this is an awkward space, but I wasn't thinking about social distancing at the time.
Yeah, of course not.
So I'm kind of thinking something like I found, I mean, I don't know, it'd be sick to watch this later and be like, hell yeah, you got that place. But I'm looking at this spot that's like it's a metal building, and it has like no walls. So it's like a 40 by 50 building. So it's like really large. It's got plenty of ventilation. And what we'll do is we'll just kind of like set it up in a certain way where it's just like, we're still working all that out. But I'm trying to. I'm sorry?
Are you able to get a spot with like a parking lot or something like that where you can have like barbecue box jams and shit? I always felt like that'd be so awesome.
Well, I really want to do something like that, because originally that was what our first skate shop was like. Because like I didn't have that much stock. I had like a warehouse in the back that was like 600 square feet. It's not much, but then like I just put like a couple skate boxes, and like that was the shit. And but my wife also she made, like, she's the voice of reason for me, because like if it weren't for her, I'd already like done something really idiotic and lost the skate shop. But she was like, there's a lot of liability in it. You know what I mean? Like, someone could get hurt.
Definitely is. Yeah.
Then, so that's the one thing. I'm what I would really like to do, and I mean, like maybe in the future, because once again, I'm very like child centric. God, that sounded weird. I'm really Focus about the youth, and yeah. So I was thinking like maybe one day, like I could like, because I am Skate IA certified, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like that would be cool, like another skate school. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or something where you could have the skates, and you could work with like, you could go to school and teach kids how to skate, just like Go Sports. Like shout out to Raymond, as John Martini, New York native, like those guys, man. Like honestly, like that's an amazing dream. Like that, so that's what I kind of want to do. It's like maybe have a facility for something like that.
That's like probably years down the line. That's also something you got to worry about, social distancing and stuff like that too, because education and teaching and stuff like that. Yeah, but just in general, the future's looking good for Oak City and all skate shops and all of us, just the whole industry in general. Whether this is a boom, a fad, whatever it is, is still gonna somewhat raise the bar, raise the level a little bit for all of us, I think.
Yeah, it's exciting news, and thanks so much for sharing everything with us. And
hell yeah,
good luck with.
One last thing. Can I ask you?
Go for it.
If everything's chill by September, will you guys plan on being at Woodward?
I am.
Yeah.
I just turned down a shoot for that weekend, so I better be there that weekend.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah.
I mean, just kind of like a announcement. I mean, from everything that I've spoken to with like Cameron and how his correspondence with them, they seem like everything will be cleaned and ready to go, and
good to go. Schedule so far
in order. So yeah,
that's good
news. So yeah, and if you're feeling like you're not getting heard from them, it's just because like camp's about to ramp up.
Yeah.
Here soon, and so, but yeah, so good. I'll see you guys there then. Shoot, September, that's not too far.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, something to look forward to. So yeah, so
sick.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing like the news, man, because it's it's an interesting time. It's obviously a very weird time in so many different ways, but it's fascinating that seeing some of the little booms happen in skating and hearing directly from you about it and everything like that, and all like the changes that everything's bringing and how to adapt. So it's cool, man. And I hope that business keeps going good and the returns get less.
yeah. It's it's part of the gig stuff. But thank you guys for everything you do, keeping us entertained, and man, can't wait to see y'all. And
hell yeah, we'll see each other soon.
If you need anything, I'm here.
I'll probably be hitting you up.
Your wife did a great job on that background too. I'm still looking at that background. It looks sick.
Yeah, shout out to your wife's name, Stephanie?
You got the wheels, you got the skates.
Stephanie.
I love it.
You got some intuition liners,
Yeah.
Oh, this is actually pretty cool. Like, this is something you might like the Kaiser grind pins. Like, so you put those on the outside, and they like they'd like stick on the side of the frame and like over the bolts. Yeah, it was weird, man. Like, Kaiser was on one, man. Yeah, UHMW plates. Like, she pulled out some cool stuff. So, but yeah,
it's cool.
We'll talk soon. And I hope y'all stay safe, and
you too, man.
Just let me know if there's anything I can do for you guys. I'm gonna do it.
Likewise.
So, absolutely. Same here.
Brother.
Just holler at me. Great.
Long, take care. Everyone else, peace. See you on the next one.